Namaste, I am Sambit Sanyal and I'll be acting as student coordinator head of the coding club. First, let's start off with some questions that we have in mind. So the first question that we have in our mind is, why haven't the classes started yet? Well, the first thing is we are actually waiting for CIEs to happen, so we don't want to break the flow of the clubs, so it's better we start after CIEs happen. I have spoken with the club mentors and they also agreed on the same thing, that it's better to start the clubs full-fledged after the CIE one happens. And also I do not want students using the clubs as an excuse for doing bad in CIE, and also using the CIE as an excuse to not do well in clubs. So since that problem should not happen, that's why it's better to start after CIE 1. Another question which comes up to me a lot is, how are the clubs even going to function? Well, first let me tell you that I had mentioned all of this in the presentation during the inauguration, but if you didn't attend the inauguration or you slept halfway, then let me give you a refresher course. The first thing which I want to clarify is, the clubs are not going to be a teacher-student interaction. I am not going to be taking classes for teaching, and you're not going to be just sitting and listening to what I'm going to say. I'm going to be giving topics, I'm going to be giving certain tactics, I'm going to be giving only threads to start with, and you as students are going to follow those threads and follow those tips and tactics and use them to study on your own. It's going to be a self-paced learning. The amount of input you give towards the clubs is the amount of output you will get from the clubs. It is that simple, and it always has been that simple. So that's the main idea of clubs in general, but I will be adding some extra rules and some extra, what can I say, guidelines for my own club, that is the coding club, which you will also have to follow, and also it's better if you do. So I'll be covering them right now, so please pay attention for the next few points. So here are some ground rules which we are going to be following for the coding club. The first rule: the club activities are made for all and no one is free from it. Even me, I myself also will be doing the club activities, so there is no reason you shouldn't. Different people have different paces of learning. If you feel like some concept is too hard for you, you can actually ask your mentor for any guidance, or you yourself can try to solve it. If you feel some topic is too easy for you, you can altogether skip it. If you complete a task or an activity, you get points for it. However, if you do not do it, there is no negative penalty or negative points for it, but however, you don't get any score for it. Certain amounts of points or certain tasks themselves will actually provide you certificates. So please keep doing tasks so you can upgrade yourself and get more certificates. You are free to post questions to me or the entire class group. It is your choice, and anyone from anywhere can answer your question. You are free to do your tasks in groups of 2 or in groups of 3. Feel free to help your friends and also help yourself in the process. But do not help people who are slacking or someone who is not interested in the coding club. Simply getting achievements and cheating your way through the club will not amount to anything in later life. While doing assignments, if you face certain issues or any problems, you're free to contact your mentor, or you can mail me at sambit99@dreit.org, so where I'll be helping you to clarify your doubts and helping you find the solution. I will be sending YouTube videos to you guys about how you can set up locally IDEs. You can choose whichever IDE you want, the best ones being Visual Studio Code, Notepad++, or you can even run your codes from terminal using GCC G++ for C++, or for Python 3 for Python, and you can choose your own IDEs. I'll be sending YouTube links which you can follow and you can set up local IDEs. But for the starting parts, I will be doing an online compiler because I feel that is the best to start off with, and I'll be showing the first few codes in online compiler so you can follow along even if you have not been able to set up your IDE. We'll be using 3 sites primarily to maintain our progress and keep a track of it. So the first one being GitHub. All our codes which we use for any HackerEarth or any other platform, whatever codes which we do, we'll be uploading them to GitHub. that's where we are going to check all the codes and make sure the GitHub repositories are public for everyone, so we can actually see and track each other's progress. So I'll be teaching how GitHub works when it comes to it, or I'll be sending you another YouTube link which you can follow and set up your own GitHub profile. The second one which we will be using is HackerEarth. HackerEarth is a nice coding platform where you can actually get some problem statements, and it's pretty interesting to solve them. So it's better we go with HackerEarth because they have an online compiler and they have public test cases and private test cases which you can test your code against. So it's a pretty much nice platform, and it will help immensely during coding competitions or during applying for jobs. And the third platform which we will be using is LinkedIn. See, when you complete certain tasks, the club will actually be awarding you with certain certificates. Of course, not every task which you do will award you a proper certificate, but some tasks which are special, or some tasks which took you a long time and took a lot of effort, will be actually certificate worthy, and those certificates can be posted on LinkedIn to show off to other Cloud Coding Club members and encourage one another, and make yourself motivated by the fact that you have completed something which others haven't, or you can boost other people's morale by showing that you can also do this since I have already done this. The coding club will be primarily focusing on two languages, the first one being C++ and the second one being Python. So a lot of you will be from bio background, so you will complain to me saying that you don't even know C, so how will you dive into C++? So the first thing I have to tell you is there is no compulsion that you have to learn C before you learn C++, and I honestly feel like if you learn C++ before, then C becomes really easy because most of the things of the language are same. It's only like C++ with some restrictions and some things missing is C. So it's always better to learn the higher language first and then move on to the lower language. So I think learning C++ will be like a boosting thing, because you will also start off with OOPS concepts, the object-oriented programming concepts, and I personally feel that learning C++ is better. And we can also use the STL, the standard template libraries, which is available only in C++, and also start off with the classes concepts, of course, which is obviously in C++. And the second language which we've taken up is Python. Of course, not Python 3 and not Python 2, because Python 3 is what is currently being used, and you can actually find Python on Google Colab, which is a online website, and you can actually do all your Python codes over there and save it as a notebook. And also one more reason to learn Python is because it's a currently trending topic, and almost many places use Python as a base, like the Django frameworks, the Flask frameworks use Python for web development. Then there is the data science and ML, the machine learning, they also use Python to actually run the codes. So Python is a must-to-have skill for a CS engineer, so we are going to be doing Python also along with this. There is no compulsion for you to learn both, but you have to choose either one. All your answers or all your tasks which you have done has to be either in C++ or Python. I will not be accepting any other languages because it will be hard for me to keep track and evaluate. So it's best you send me either in C++ or Python. You can do other languages like JavaScript, Perl, PHP. You can give me a number of languages, but I will be accepting the answers only in C++ and Python for a fair evaluation. I'll be sending another video later soon explaining what is the procedure for solving coding problems, and also I'll be giving some tasks in my next video. So that's all for now. Bye.